Can we focus on the high-speed rail across the country so that we're not comics all traveling in our cars and doing things?
Like, are you doing it underground, even above ground? Like, I don't know. My people have a bad history with railroads.
But a good history in some ways.
Do you know who you're voting for? We don't.
But the election's coming up, so it's time to figure it out.
This is the Are We Wrong podcast.
I'm AI Norman.
I'm Demi Chang, and we're comedians in Austin, Texas.
And we've decided that we are the people best suited to help you figure out who to vote for.
At the start of each episode, we're going to pick an election topic from this bucket.
We'll start by saying which candidate we think we're most aligned with on that topic.
And then we're going to explore each topic and be as candid as you wish you could be.
Then we'll reveal each candidate's platforms and we'll re-vote and see if our vote changes. And we encourage you all to follow along at home with that same experiment.
Are we wrong? Are we right? Let us know in the comments what we got right and what we got wrong.
And if you want to tell us why we're wrong in person, you can come to our live Are We Wrong show. It will be held at Something Cool Studios in Austin, Texas on October 26th at 8 p.m. in time to figure out who to vote for before the election. And we'll have on guests more special than we are to help us sort this out.
Tickets are available at the link below or arewewrong.eventbrite.com.
Hope to see you there.
Let's get started.
Okay, let's see what the next topic is.
All right.
Oh, this one feels good. Electric vehicles.
Ooh.
Okay, what's your most up thought about electric vehicles?
I rented an electric vehicle in Seattle, and it was a terrible experience and very annoying. And then I learned that Seattle has burned to the ground multiple times. And after dealing with the electric vehicle, I was like, I understand. I would burn the city to the ground.
So you think the unrest in the Chaz Chop region was largely due to the annoyance of electric vehicles being manifested through civil unrest with the excuse of black people?
Oh, I wouldn't go that far, but
that's what you said, that's why they're burning Seattle down.
No, it's because I couldn't find a charger and I was with my mother and she does not understand apps and things and looking for things quickly on Google Maps and stuff. Like I can barely keep up with technology. And I was trying to have her find a charger for me while I was driving the thing and we couldn't find one. Finally found one and then this dude walked up, this Indian dude, and he was like, you can't use this. I already reserved it, and then he taught me how to use the app to reserve a spot, and then I'm like, just let me charge my car.
Need Indian people to be outposted to help other types of Asians figure out how to use electric vehicles is your most offensive.
He was saying that he already reserved that spot.
I already reserved this spot, but I can teach you how to do. That's what you said.
Yeah.
But then he also taught you how to use it.
So that was nice. That was nice.
So I'm saying instead of it being that you have to run across an Indian man who already reserved it, we should just post Indian men around to help other ethnicities figure out how to use.
I feel bad. He was probably like, I didn't want to be help desk after work too.
But if we paid them,
maybe. Or
I'm trying to form your thing into a fucked up thought.
I don't know. It's not a thing. Okay, basically, I don't have a fucked up thought.
I thought that was a great fucked up thought. Burn Seattle to the ground and make Indian people help the rest of us understand how to use electric vehicles because it's hard.
If they could just make the plugs as accessible and user-friendly as a gas station, I could get on board, maybe. Hybrids. I'm into hybrids. I don't believe in full electric.
Okay,
what's your most fucked up thought on EVs? Great Pokemon.
On EV, yeah, I love the Pokemon. Well, all I know is that I've heard that they've got to use cobalt to make the batteries and you need people to mine that. Mm-hmm. And you've got like Chinese people doing that in the Congo. Mm-hmm. You Chinese people, and they're basically running it like horrible slave conditions to get the cobalt.
Wait, the Chinese people are mining?
Yeah, the Chinese people are running the companies in the Congo because they don't have to worry about human rights the way we do. So if we did it, then we would have to spend a bunch of money and stuff making it like nicer. but instead we buy it from the Chinese who don't do that. So we still get to benefit from their human rights violations. And they promise they're doing it nicely, but they're not. And we promise we've looked into it, but we're not. So, but Congolese men have the biggest dicks of anyone in the world. So
and
maybe
Chinese men,
it all balances out. And Chinese men have the smallest, and that's probably why they're...
that's a nice...
Anyway, I don't know. I think there was a up thought in there somewhere, but that's my up thought. So who do we think that we agree with the most on their electric vehicle policy?
Can I say another up thought?
Yeah.
That your
You have
fucked up
another.
thought reminded me of?
Yes.
I played, or I had a role as a mall elf during this past holiday season. Yes, it sucks to be a gig worker.
I was just thinking, what a cute job for Asians. Okay.
It was cute. It was fun to I watched Elf to get in character, and then it was fun to just skip. Normally, if you skip through the town, people think you're crazy. But if you're dressed as an elf, then people think, then you're allowed to skip. And I would ask the kids, oh, Santa's gonna ask you what you want for Christmas, and then a lot of times this happened 2 or 3 times where the kid would say, okay, I just want world peace. And I'm like, okay, well, Santa can't bring you world peace, but that's very sweet. If Santa can't bring you world peace, what else would you like for Christmas? And their very next answer would be, I want a new iPhone. And I'm like, oh, if you only knew the human rights atrocities that are going into your iPhone, I don't know if cobalt's on iPhones.
Yeah,
the super
I don't
chips,
think so.
all the...
Yeah.
It's just very bad. The netting in the windows of the factories.
It's too bad we don't have a real Santa with a bunch of real elves doing all this, and instead it's slavish labor around the poor parts of the world.
Anyway, okay, so...
So let's take our vote.
Okay,
Who do we think we'll be most aligned with?
I know mine.
All right, and all in favor for their views on electric vehicles, who votes for Trump? Okay. Trump has
Stop
it.
copying me.
I'm not copying you. It's just that I heard that I don't think the Democrats kind of want. This is one I really don't know anything about, but I think the Democrats kind of want to make it mandatory in some point to have electric vehicles.
Phasing toward...
Yeah, I don't really know. I just feel like, okay, until we figure out the cobalt thing, every time, anything we do that solves one problem winds up causing these other problems. And unless someone's going to make it so that we can all afford the electric vehicles and there's more of these stations and they have a longer range, it's just kind of unfathomable to me to think that we're going to be able to make this make sense.
Yeah, I'm worried about the infrastructure. Some power grids can't even sustain the electric vehicle infrastructure we have now, let alone if we're all required to have it, and then being able to charge it conveniently as pulling into a gas station if you're in the middle of nowhere. The range issue is a huge thing.
Yeah, we're comics. We travel around.
Yeah, exactly. We have I have a comedian friend back home in DC who rented a Tesla for a comedy, a mini tour.
Yeah.
And she was like, it was the worst because you have to keep stopping and keep charging, and each charge is
It has to be a
20
part of your
minutes.
plan of your day of I'm going to go here, charge it here, have lunch and work out and shower here and let it charge and then go to the next, and that can't always work.
And I will say, when I rented an electric vehicle, I will say it was incredible that it was free. Every time I charged it, you could literally charge it for free. That blew my mind. However, the reliability of being able to charge and not get stranded and stuff, I am very much pro hybrids, but I don't think I could get behind mandatory pure
And
electric.
is it free, or is it being subsidized? What does the energy come from? Are these solar panels, or what do you mean free?
I don't know. I wish someone could look that up for us, but I don't know where it comes from. But and I think if everyone had electric vehicles, I doubt it could be free.
Could be free.
But it would definitely be lower cost than petroleum. However, how are we going to support the power grid? I don't know about that.
Yeah, so I don't really know how all of that works. This is one where we really need help to figure out free charging. Yeah, maybe
Google how is it free? Where?
Or where does the energy come from that powers these electric vehicles? Because it's still electricity. Because like when you're electricity in your house, sometimes it's coal or something, and that's no good. Coal to get like electricity in your house. A lot of times.
Where?
I don't know. Throughout what is this electricity from? What creates it?
I don't think it's coal, but I don't.
Well, it has been in the past. I don't know what it is now. I'm saying all power comes from somewhere, and not that much of it is renewable. Wind or sun. So we don't have a bunch of hamsters running the wheels to get these. So it's always coming from some resource, and unless it's the sun or the wind, and even then, like you've got all the materials that go into it, like it's always costing a lot. So there's always taxing the environment a lot to do anything. I just feel like, can we focus on the high-speed rail across the country so that we're not comics all traveling in our cars and doing things? And I don't know if that could be electric and really efficient. I don't know how nuclear could go into all of this, but I just feel like I wish this country were creating high-speed rail travel all around to all the major cities. We could all use our cars less so that whether they were electric or gas or hybrid, then it just wouldn't be as big of a deal because it wouldn't be 400 million people constantly driving everywhere.
Yeah.
I want that candidate.
That would be cool. Or even this, I don't know if this is, or even like a train ferry type situation. Like if you could drive your car onto the train and then it could take you to New York.
That would be awesome if there were high speed, like we could do that in a really efficient way. You could get your car and then zoom it over. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I just think it takes so much. I mean, okay, like I don't know if this is a good comparison, but think about like the wall that Trump tried to build and just the materials, the labor to build a structure across so much land. And then with a railway, you're likely, like, are you doing it underground, even above ground? Like, I don't know, my people have a bad history with railroads, but.
What a good history in some ways. Well, I mean, in Europe, they've got lots of high-speed rails going places.
I mean, I support that.
Yeah, I'm just like, can we do that? And then, maybe people just drive more locally for the most part. And yeah, maybe it's just that, because then you just have your car when you're around your area, but then I'll take a high-speed thing somewhere else, and then maybe then I can rent a little electric car because I'm going to be staying in this area with that car, so I don't need it to have a long range. And then, I could just, America's such a big country, and I want to be able to travel all over the place, efficiently. I don't want to have to drive everywhere. I don't want to have to fly everywhere. I think that there's high-speed rail options that would be really energy efficient and economical.
Yeah, I'm quite reliant on my car. So are you saying if there was a candidate that was supporting high-speed rail?
Because I don't know, all this other stuff, I'm like, you're going to make it mandatory? Is that going to work? Are you just going to kind of say that? Like, I don't want all these gas guzzlers. It's crazy to me how many trucks are getting 12 miles to the gallon and driving everywhere, and people do that, but...
Yeah, or if we do electric cargo, like if you mandate maybe the transportation sector or the, you know what I mean, like the shipping stuff, like if the Freightliners, because I think Tesla's working on building like Freightliner type electric.
You mean freight?
Freight. EI.
This is the Halloween edition of Freightliners.
Freight. Okay, it is freight. Words are hard. Is it freight? Okay.
Yeah.
What would the British say? Okay.
Freightliners.
I had a great. Okay, so the Freightliners.
You learn English from a British people, or?
Well, I like looking at pronunciations, and then they always have the British pronunciation button, and then I just check it just in case. Yeah, I don't like them mandating electric vehicles. That's my.
Yeah, we believe in freedom here in America, so we don't want any of these damn don't force us to do it. But if you can incentivize technology to work so that it is affordable, so that if it's a good option, we'll want to do it. But if we keep looking at it and going, I can't afford a $60,000 car, and I'm not going to be able to get from place A to place B in a way that works for me, then we're not going to do it. So yeah, I don't like the idea of it being mandatory, but maybe some things could be mandatory for big business, like you were saying, from shipping. But then that always runs into, can we compete with the other countries if they're cutting corners and doing things whatever's cheapest? If we have all these added costs because we have to do things in an environmental way, then are we not going to be able to compete?
Yeah. Well, another thing that happened in Seattle, again, we had to ride the ferries, and there was an issue with their ferries are getting old and broken down, and then they're trying to they want to import the European ferries, because you were saying like other countries doing it better, because the European countries are running off of alternative energy and they're much more efficient and awesome. But then the state of Washington, which is like a more liberal state, they have policies where everything has to be built in Washington. So they can only use the ferries that are manufactured in Washington. And so it cuts down on that efficiency that they're really looking for.
That sucks. That's
yeah.
probably damn liberal policy. Yeah, it's like whether it's that kind of thing where, oh, it's got to be people here, so we protect these jobs, or DEI, and now you've got
you're sacrificing
a one-armed, Hispanic queer person who instead is the
I know
most
that guy.
candidate. Yeah.
Or her girl or whatever they go by. Okay, wait, this is just like a slight detour, but also semi-related. How do you feel about self-driving? Because they had those self-driving EVs and taxi cabs here.
Man, I don't know if as long as they're safer than humans, then sure. Because we already got horrible human drivers. So if those things are safer than human drivers, and there's an insurance situation, so we get compensated when one of their things fucks us up, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fight that. I would love to be able to have a driverless, just to get where I'm going and be able to do my own thing and whatever. Although driving is a nice time sometimes, because you're forced to kind of like be there. Your body is still, but your mind is active. It can be a good kind of forced meditative state.
But you can choose. What were I forgot the name of the ones that were in Austin, but it got pulled. They were all over the city, and they got pulled because I think one driverless car like hit and dragged a person in San Francisco. It wasn't even in Austin, and I'm like, I feel like human drivers do that all the time.
Yeah, it sucks. That's why I say it's like they have to be safer. I don't need them to be that much safer, but they have to be a little bit safer than humans, and then people are more fine with it. But yeah, it's like you can always kind of fearmonger. Oh my God, I've dragged one person, and there's something about it that feels really scary to us, to cede control to the computers. But if you really think about how untrustworthy humans are, like whatever, at least the cars are never going to be drunk.
I was gonna say, like, they're going a little heavy on that motor oil.
Yeah.
But then if they're electric.
I would rather they're drunk on the sun or something. The solar panel was too hot that day. A little hot under the collar. No, that's the thing. At least they're never going to be drunk. So I think I'm actually okay. If we do have it at a place where they're shown to be safer than humans, then I'm fine with that. Yeah, we're going to lose.
The other issue with electric vehicles, although I don't know, maybe this could happen with regular vehicles, but there have been concerns about like if let's say China or Russia hack into the computer system, because most cars these days are run by the computer system. And if you watched, I think it was Leave the World Behind, or something. It was a like end of the world scenario thing, and it was like all the computers in the cars got hacked. And there's like this long line of Teslas and stuff just like crashing into each other because
also those self-driving cars a lot of time have like that weird ugly thing on top with the camera or something. Aesthetically it's not great. So we should make them do something about that.
Yeah, make it look like a fun hat.
It looks dystopian. Make it a fun hat. And then we need some really good hacking fight things so that it's not hackable. That would be great.
I remember reading an article in like second grade that they would have flying vehicles by 2012 or 2016, and we can't even drive on the ground.
Yeah, things have not gone the way anyone hoped. All right, well, I think it's time to reveal the candidates' positions and see if that helps us clarify
I think
who we want to vote for when it comes to electric vehicles. Kamala Harris wants to prioritize electric vehicles. In her 2020 campaign, Harris's platform called for ramping up electric vehicle production, something that has become a cornerstone of Biden's presidency. The administration has used a combination of carrots and sticks to encourage electric vehicle manufacturing in the U.S. as the White House seeks to address climate change by slowly phasing out gas-powered vehicles. But the administration has already slashed ambitious targets, cutting its goal for electric vehicle adoption from 67% by 2032 to about half that amount after pushback from auto industry and labor leaders. So basically, Harris's thing is like, well, we're working on it. We'll eventually, we're trying. At some point, it would be good.
Yeah, but slowly phasing out gas-powered vehicles. I never finished watching Mad Max, but that feels... Okay, let's read Trump's. Threat to the auto industry. So he's looking at it from an economic standpoint. Trump has centered Biden's electric vehicle efforts in his campaign as a threat to the auto industry and U.S. economy as a whole, pledging to repeal all of Biden's efforts in this space. He has said that he is not against electric vehicles themselves, but has portrayed them as less reliable than gas-powered counterparts.
So basically, it seems like the Democrats want to move toward phasing them out, as in eventually it would become illegal to create any more gas-powered cars.
I don't know about the illegal. I don't know.
Well, that's what they're saying. I mean, if they're saying they're going to phase them out, like what does that mean besides eventually that won't be allowed?
But I don't know. My partner is a car guy, so just my brain immediately went to there will be people who have antique cars, and one day a 2020 car will be an antique car or whatever, and people will want to drive those things, and are they going to say?
Right.
Then it becomes, like you said, this very dystopian, like, oh, you can't do that. Like in China right now, because of their smog problem and their population, they have a system where depending on the license plate number, like odd numbers can drive on these days, even numbers can drive on these days, and like where do we draw the line?
Right, so I guess that'll be the thing, like you won't be able to pass your inspection if you have a gas vehicle eventually would be the idea. You won't be able to pass inspection, so you could still drive it around a little bit, but it won't be able to be inspected.
Or will it be a state thing? Like, will it be like, because I think California is really trying to get into the electric
Then everyone drives their cars to another state, and you can't.
Yeah.
You need it to be able to work. It just seems like basically what is happening is Trump wants to protect the auto industry and wants to repeal any kind of stuff that Biden has done toward promoting gas,
I wanted to side with him, but I also don't see as protecting an industry as a strong argument.
Right, exactly.
Because it's like, that's, when people argue, well, it's the way it's always been, then you stop progress.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas Kamala, it seems to me that she's going, we're working on it. We're working on trying to support electric stuff, but we're going to take our time, and it's fine. We'll get there or something.
Yeah, can
we'll
you
figure it out as we
back
go
over, please? Let's see.
She's like, we're not doing these ambitious targets. Even the Biden administration, we're not really. We campaigned on ambitious targets. JK, that's not going to work out.
Maybe she makes cars that run on carrots and sticks. That would
be. So they're just.
Imagine them. Nom, 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 nom.
Yeah, if we could do that, but then there's going to be a whole carrot problem. Okay.
Well, some people use like,
It's going to become like avocados and almonds. So we overfarm them.
I stopped drinking almond milk. Some people use like old frying oil and other alternative sources.
Yeah, you could just put canola oil in your car, I think. Don't do that. But yeah, there's already other old cars. Some people run on the green pump, and some people.
Oh, the ethanol.
I don't really understand how that works.
Yeah, it's like trying to use corn. They try to use corn
syrup. No, I don't.
Well, no, it's ethanol. No. It's corn-based.
Corn oil. Yeah, because if you have a petroleum, I don't know. Are we wrong?
Are we running out of? Oh, you have low battery.
Yeah, he does. Well, speaking of batteries, the laptop's about to die, so we better take a vote on this now.
Okay.
Having heard what we have...
Wait, are we running out of oil?
Laptop.
Are we running out of oil? Because that'll
There's
change my opinion.
Yeah, it seems like there's still plenty of oil for a while.
Okay.
There's a lot of oil. There's
Let's
a lot
get
more
working
than
on
people,
that nuclear fission.
There's a lot more than people kind of made us fear when we were growing up, but it will run out eventually. So let's do something with nuclear, but it looks like we have a little bit more time. So let's go ahead and vote.
All right, on the topic of electric vehicles, who votes for Kamala Harris? Donald J. Trump.
I don't like the argument, but I don't want to be forced to get an EV. I don't want the forced EVing.
Yeah, it just seems like the Democrats are like, we're working on it, but we'll keep putting it off until it actually is convenient. We're never going to lose votes over it. So
Yeah, I mean, I do think it will take forever to actually get somewhere, but I just don't trust the reliability. Maybe by the time they decide that we need all EVs, maybe we'll have a good alternative.
right,
They're getting close with the nuclear stuff. They're just trying to figure out what to
Exactly.
do with the fallout.
exactly. So all right, that's that.